He likes to talk. He likes to tell me what he's doing, send me videos of where he's going.
Marcus Forrester says he and his son Jason, 38, voice texted each other every day and many times a day, especially after Jason moved from Beltsville, Maryland to Miami, Florida. Frequent trips to the Dominican Republic led to love and then marriage to a woman Jason met there.
He met the parents and so on. They got married in DR, and he started making arrangements to get her to come here legally. And that did happen. She got a visa.
Forrester says Jason and his new bride struggled a bit as they transitioned from a long-distance relationship to sharing a home. Then something unexpected and shocking happened.
One day he came back from work and the apartment was cleaned out. She left and disappeared.
Forrester says his son was heartbroken when his wife refused to return his calls, then blocked him. He says Jason decided to fly to the Dominican Republic to talk with her family, hoping they would help convince her to return to the marriage. But after the phone call from the airport 2 weeks ago, Marcus Forrester says no one, not his family or friends, has heard from Jason. Calls to the Dominican embassy have produced no helpful information, he says.
We're just very, very concerned and hoping and praying that he shows up some way, somehow. But the reality of it is could be even worse.
All right, so this is a really unfortunate story. Before I even start, hopefully Jason is okay. It's a tough scenario to report on, basically, because in all likelihood, something happened when he reached the family. The thing about that Dominican culture is they will have somebody playing up in your face, man, who they say is her cousin, her brother or something like that, or whatever. It could possibly be her boyfriend or even her husband. They said in the report that it went from a long-distance relationship to living together, and they struggled. Which means to me, it looked like she got what she wanted, which was the visa. And what people got to understand about these visas is they can adjust the status. They go for the AOS, which goes from marriage to single, and they're able to still stay in the United States. The Dominican Republic is economically oppressed. A lot of the citizens there don't have a lot of money, even though they work 6 days a week. I lived out there for about 9 months. I loved it, but I was able to kind of witness, speaking with the staff in my building. I saw how, they just don't make a lot of money like that. And they look at America as having more opportunities, and they have family members in America, and they're trying to figure out what's the best way they can get to America. And this is one of the ways. This is a route. I would, be dating a woman or talking to a woman, and out of a sudden she would say, I want to go to America, which is always a red flag to me. And I always say, hey, I don't live in America, so you're not going to be able to go to America on my, through me, basically. And that's what you guys need to be saying. And the reality is you need to be trying to figure out how to live in the Dominican Republic, spend enough time with her to validate her and her family, see kind of who's who. Because that's a big thing out there, really, finessing the dumb, love-struck gringo. Dominican Republic has a huge romance culture out there. And the thing about it is what I witnessed, what I understood was there's a large romance culture, but to truly be Dominican is to go through that daily struggle. So even if you are, a Spanish-speaking American, even if you have that Dominican look, even if you are a Dominican American and, parents, moved to America and you grew up in America, they still look at you as an outsider. You didn't grow up in that Dominican struggle, basically, right? So you don't really identify with that pain or witness what that like to not, be able to eat. Even some of the girls in San Domingo, they work full-time jobs, but they might go to the other side of the island to, participate in other activities to make more money. So they're looking for an out, and that's what you got to understand. That's like a big thing out there. She finessed them. She wasn't really in love with them. She just wanted to get to America to be able to make money. Now, all that's changing now under the Trump administration. They're being very stringent on these marriage applications, these green card scams. They're really looking into them now, and it's not going to be as easy as it was before. In my opinion, what the family should do is they should really be investigating her family. All right, they should go there themselves, go to the airport, look if they can get some type of surveillance footage. I mean, the DR out there, police system out there and everything. If you pay, they can figure out what happened, basically. If you just, throw some bread to the police officers and to the detectives, go to that family house, see exactly what happened. Fortunately, I think he might have rolled up on the family, and who he thought was her brother or her cousin could have been her, her lover, her boyfriend, or her, legitimate husband or something like that. And they probably got into it and something happened. I'm not hoping that, You know, I'm not wishing that. Hopefully the guy could be found. He'll be okay. But you got to understand the DR, I would say, for all my passport bros out there, and then keep in mind, there's a lot of guys out there in relationships that are doing great, but they live in the Dominican Republic, all right? Or they're dating and letting the woman know up front, hey, don't think you about to go to America, through me, because either I don't want to live in America or you up on game when it comes to the green card thing, all right? So stay aware. Like I say, if it's any country that they're doing that in, the highest is going to be the DR. There's other countries now, don't get me wrong. But from what I witnessed living there, that's why I heard it the most personally. Many women saying, hey, I want to go to the United States because there's more opportunities. All right? Once again, we out. Peace.
When you niggas have a problem with the passport, what's your opinion? What we have a problem with is, and on black women as a reason to go over to take advantage of women who are not financially stable. You go over here to find somebody who's going to treat you like a king.
Download now on the App Store and Google Play.